You're now watching Q News. Here are the top stories for this hour. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has addressed regional security, supporting the Gaza ceasefire agreement and detainee swap with UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed. That came as the UAE President welcomed President el-Sisi at Abu Dhabi International Airport. The two leaders discussed strengthening bilateral ties, particularly in economic, commercial, and investment sectors. Addressing regional stability, they emphasized continued efforts for a two-state solution. Syria's stability and efforts to restore stability in Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia. Israeli occupation forces have launched airstrikes on Gaza, targeting northern areas despite a declared ceasefire. Gaza's civil defense has reported dozens of strikes since the ceasefire announcement. Palestinian media declared 28 casualties in scattered attacks, highlighting ongoing assaults on civilians despite the truth. The situation underscores rising concerns about Israel's adherence to the ceasefire and the humanitarian impact on Gaza's population. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has claimed Hamas reneged on parts of the Gaza ceasefire agreement, delaying Israeli government approval. Netanyahu accused Hamas of seeking last-minute concessions and said Israel would only proceed once mediators confirm that Hamas accepts all terms. The Israeli government was set to greenlight the truce today, following a devastating 15-month conflict that caused tens of thousands of casualties, widespread destruction, and a humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
Resiliently, consistently, forcefully, as Israel defends our civilization against barbarism. The people of Israel are united in defending our nation against
Hamas has refuted Benjamin Netanyahu's claims that it backtracked on the Gaza ceasefire agreement. That comes as Hamas affirms its commitment to the deal brokered by mediators. Meanwhile, Egypt, Qatar, and the United States announced a truce agreement, including a detainee exchange and sustainable calm, aiming for a permanent ceasefire. U.S. President Joe Biden has announced that Israel and Hamas reached a ceasefire and detainee swap agreement. Biden added that the agreement aims to end the fighting in Gaza and increase humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. Biden stated that the first phase of the ceasefire will last 6 weeks, followed by a permanent end to the war. The deal, achieved after 15 months of conflict, will also bring more humanitarian assistance to Gaza.
50 years of public service. I give you my word. I still believe in the idea.
Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has welcomed the recent agreement aimed at ending the tragic situation in Gaza, acknowledging the extensive international efforts that led to this conclusion. President Aoun stressed the need for Israel's commitment to the agreement, calling for continued oversight by sponsor nations and the UN. He warned against Israel's evasion of obligations, citing violations in southern Lebanon. Aoun reaffirmed Palestine's right to a sovereign state and hoped the agreement would enable the return. He also called for the urgent reconstruction of Gaza. Qatar's ambassador to Lebanon handed Lebanese President Joseph Aoun a written message from Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar. The message extended an official invitation for Aoun to visit Doha, where discussions will include issues of common interest and means to boost and strengthen ties between the two countries in all fields. Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Albares has reaffirmed Spain's continued support for Lebanon, emphasizing the country's crucial role in maintaining peace and stability in the region. After a meeting with President Aoun, Albares expressed hopes for a permanent ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel and stressed the need for Lebanese troops south of the Litani River. He praised Lebanon's political progress and Spain's readiness to support the country, including a €10 million aid package. Spanish troops are the largest contingent in UNIFIL.
Las fuerzas israelíes, del mismo modo que el despliegue de las fuerzas armadas libanesas.
United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has called for sanctions on Syria to be reconsidered during his first ever visit to the country. Speaking during a press conference in the capital Damascus, Turk said sanctions had a negative impact on Syrian people and that he will continue to advocate for their relief. Turk, an Austrian lawyer, is visiting Syria and is expected to meet with officials, civil society groups, diplomats, and UN bodies. He will travel to Lebanon next week.
Nationally driven processes. There are still very real threats to Syria's territorial integrity.
This concludes our top stories for this hour. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Q News.